Hello, Cherie Hanson here. Well, my morning has been quite peaceful until I ate. And then I managed to drop the heavily buttered toast onto my toes. And I was sitting there thinking, I have now buttered my toes. Can the day get any better? So as I'm wiping the butter off of my toes, I end up with it on my knees. And I often remark on the strange things that can happen when you're not paying attention. I was, during the Wim Hof meditation today, the breath work, coming to look at the issue of shame and guilt. I've had quite a few conversations with the clients that I coach, and they talk about these two aspects of their reality very, very often driving the bus. There's a difference between shame and guilt. Shame is a loss of face, ignominy, to feel dishonorable, and it is actually an existential wound. It becomes who you are. You have something you need to be ashamed of. And family systems really embrace that concept because you hold the shame of the failure of your family to protect you from shame. But you must never speak of your shame, because if you reveal that you have shame, your whole family will be found out to be shameful on some level. So say, for instance, in my childhood, if you are battered, if you are subjected to psychological violence, any of these things, and now where you are is you are frozen. You're frozen in this position. And what I notice with my clients is the more you refuse to talk about your shame, the more you get so that you're very, very clear about the shame you're carrying. One way is the doorway out, the other way is the doorway down in the basement, buried with cement poured over you. So the shame that I felt so often in my life came out in the fact that I would lie to myself. First, you lie to yourself. No, this didn't really hurt me. No, this didn't scar me. I'm fine. And the next thing that happens is you lie to other people. So I came to understand through, just rigorous counseling and years of pursuing this, that my tendency to exaggerate was always, if you look at an x-ray and you can see where a bone was broken, you ask yourself the question, why do I do this? Why do I exaggerate what happened or where I was or, what I bought or how heavy something was? And I came to understand that when I exaggerated, it was in an attempt to cover up my shame. Then I went the next step and I thought, oh my God, this is like skiing. This is like using a stick and finding water. There's stuff down there. And what is down there is no one must know about me. Now, the vision I get, because I'm very visual, is of a chicken sitting on an egg. So there you are, you've got your feathers all fluffed out, and you're sitting on this egg of shame. And you don't want anybody to know that it's under there. But the problem is, the more you sit on that, the more you cover it up, the more you protect it from being known or seen or understood or processed, the bigger it gets. Isn't that fantastic? So you come to a place where you are told by your family not to talk about it. That didn't happen. You're fine. Well, why is my nose broken? I don't know. It was something that happened when you were in a carriage, when you were in the stroller and it went down the stairs. And then your family closes ranks because you're so full of shame, you don't think anyone can love you. You don't think outside people can be your friends. You don't think the teacher can protect you and teach you and take care of you. And so what you do is you rely on the mafia family. You rely on the family system of severe neuroticism to be your protection. Oh my God. You know, like we all do break-in entries. It's our thing. You know. And so when I got to that point where I realized that when I paused, I look at it as Thich Nhat Hanh talks about the pause when you are walking and doing walking meditation, and the pause is where everything happens. I looked at myself using that advice and I thought somebody would ask me a question. And if I'm pausing because I am selecting the best answer so that I cannot be seen, so I can get the mask on, so that I can pretend, so that I can make up this persona, because I am so terrified that I will be seen as somebody who's lesser than, broken, somebody who has been besmirched. And so when people would ask me things, and you know, like, how far did you walk today? When I was 40. And if I had walked 10 kilometers, I'd say 12 kilometers. Now, that's ridiculous. If I can't catch myself blowing up my credentials, you know, I got a PhD from Harvard. Yeah, that's me. So I started to really look at the lie, because the lie shows you where you've had the break, where you have had the injury, where you don't accept yourself. You don't accept yourself, and you have to puff yourself up. You have to look as if. Now, the other part of that is the people who take their story and exaggerate it because they want to be a victim. You know, oh, poor me, this is so horrible. I can't believe I can walk straight because all this stuff happened. And that's again a lie. That's a lie that's coming out of your broken place. You want somebody to kiss you and make your childhood better by empathizing with you, by seeing you as a poor, victimized, sacrificed soul. So where do we go when we're dealing with this kind of thing? First of all, you don't have to answer every question. Nobody's going to come to your house and take away your internet if you're not answering a question. You're okay. You can simply pause and say, I don't know. Oh, that's a mind blown, isn't it? That's a mind-blowing thing. What do you mean you don't know? I'm asking you to give me an answer. The next thing that is very helpful is to never apologize. Never defend yourself. Who is it that defends themselves? It's the guilty. Oh, I wasn't paying attention this morning when I was having my toast and I dropped it on my toes and then I buttered my toes, but I don't usually do that. I mean, there are whole weeks at a time I'm not buttering my toes. So if you feel the urge to defend yourself, look inside and see that that's coming from guilt. You feel that you are somehow guilty. And if you don't defend yourself, people are going to find out. And if you're guilty, then you're not worthy. And now you're back into shame. It's a lovely little worm of Ouroboros. His tail and his mouth, this cycle. And so I began a practice where I would observe my emotional reactions when people would ask questions. And I would ask the question, can you be honest in your response? If it involves your own life or your own emotions, and you're not blowing them up, you're not making it worse, you're not making it better, you're not being a chameleon that is trying to have the right color so you blend into the background. And that takes a lot of courage to say to yourself, I will speak what I think of as my truth. And when you make that promise to yourself, there's something imaginatively wonderful that happens. You just calm the hell down. You're not in court. You're not. You're not guilty of the 2,000 things you're carrying around in your head that you're thinking you're guilty of. You just stay in your canoe on the white water and take the next stroke with the oar and do the next thing with as much honesty and self-awareness and emotional intelligence as you can possibly work up at this point in your development. So I really wanted you to think about that today, about how when the family does not want you talking, like I'm just thinking about so many people who are saying, yeah, no, we're not alcoholics. It's just everybody falls asleep at 9 o'clock and slides out of their chair by 10. My ex's father was like, he just had no stuffing after he drank all day, and he would just slide down out of the armchair. I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny. And nothing was happening there, nothing to see. There's no problem. And so you're being asked to be a spy. You're supposed to be hidden, not know. Nobody knows who I am. Nobody knows what I do. Nobody knows what happened to me. I will lie, and I will change the lie to fit any situation so I fit in. Because by God, fitting in is the highest pleasure you've ever managed to achieve in your life. And I have to say, that is incredibly sad if that's your peak performance, is fitting in. So I am working a lot with people who they've been sitting on the shame egg, and they go out into the world feeling already guilty. They're guilty of everything. Somebody cut in front of them on the road and had an accident. They caused it. They're responsible. So make a pact with yourself that you're going to examine your answers, the things you're saying, and look for when you're having a fear response. And you can tell because it's not honest. Thank you so much for subscribing to my videos. Such sweet comments. And I am here to do remote readings and remote coaching. I'm just here to help people. I went through, the jungle on fire and the bog with alligators and crocodiles, and I managed to survive. I can help you step into your gloriousness. How beautiful you really are. And I say to you, I really appreciate you for listening to my videos. Thank you.